Coming up on this edition of the Super Review. The district is engaging in a master planning process to ensure facilities across the district are high-quality environments for students, staff, and community members. Hear more from district leadership on what this process entails and why it is important. Engaging parents through a new family-centered Welcome Center. Hear the latest on how the Welcome Center is connecting our families to resources and services throughout the district and the community. And in How Are the Children, Superintendent Dr. Stubblefield talks with high school students as they share their thoughts on today's topics and much more. You're watching the Super Review.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Anna Stubblefield, Superintendent of Schools. Thank you for tuning into the Super Review. I'm excited to begin another year with this program to highlight our student, staff, and district initiatives. KCKPS initiated a facilities planning process this year to determine whether our current facilities are meeting the intended purpose for our students, staff, and the community. Input from our stakeholders is a vital part of the process in helping us to evaluate the current condition of our facilities. Joining me today to talk about the facility planning process is School Board Member Rachel Russell and Chief of Operations Mr. Steve Lilly. Steve and Rachel, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Steve, we'll start with you. Can you explain to our audience why we have initiated a facilities master plan study?
Sure. Going back a ways, in 2016, the district conducted a facility study. At that time, that project led to a bond project that updated many of our facilities, added a couple of new schools, and this is kind of the continuation of that. I think it's important that the district always looks to look at the responsibility to evaluate the educational environment of all of our students and trying to do what we can to ensure that our students have the best facilities possible.
Okay, so as we evaluate the current condition of our facilities, how would you describe the overall viability of our buildings and properties today?
Well, we do have aging facilities in our district. We have pockets where things have been updated and are in pretty good condition. I give a lot of credit to our maintenance staff that have done an incredible job of maintaining our facilities. Think that we've been good stewards with what we have, but just like your house or car or anything else, as time goes on, things age, and some of those repairs become greater and greater, and we need to evaluate that as opposed to the value of potentially looking at new schools as well.
Okay. Rachel, from a board member's perspective, how important is it for our residents, staff, parents, and students to be engaged in this process?
Yeah, so I guess to first answer the question, it's very important. As stewards of public dollars, folks like to see how their dollars are spent. But also we want to be able to create not only the facilities of today, but facilities of the future. And so it's best for our business community, our future employers to be a part of that process. It's great for our parents so that they know how to be engaged in the educational process and kind of what their kids have access to in the building. And then it's important to, of course, center the voices of students. So a question you ask your advisory council a lot is, how can we do better to serve you? And so the best way to do better to serve our students is to ask our students about their experiences in our facilities and what we can do to improve for the future generations of KCKPS students.
Okay. So we held our first community vision team meeting recently. What were your thoughts, Rachel, about the information that was shared and the feedback from the different individuals and groups that resonated with you from that session?
Yeah, so I think the first session really gave us the opportunity. Oftentimes people see surveys or are given surveys, and this opportunity to bring folks together was an opportunity for them to see the feedback from the survey. People don't usually, when they're given surveys, not just in the school setting, educational setting, But just surveys in general, they don't get to see the closed loop of that survey. And so I felt like this conversation or this first meeting was an opportunity for folks to see what not only they said, but what their community members said in the different groups, categories of groups who had an opportunity to feed into this survey. It was an opportunity to see that. And then I think it also just kind of set a baseline of kind of where we are in the process, but also kind of what we're looking at initially as well.
Okay. Steve, can you share with us what some of the participants thought the priority should be as it relates to the facility improvements?
Sure. We've spent a lot of time surveying students, community, staff members, having individual meetings in all district facilities with administration, with some staff members, with custodial staff, to try to get a real good idea of what those needs are. In addition to that, we've had our facility vision team, community vision team, and educational vision team that have met and kind of gone over priorities too. And you know, one of the things that I've been not surprised with, but just how similar all of those different groups have been in what some of their priorities are. Safety and security is, you know, obviously a top priority. High quality infrastructure, things like building efficiencies, you know, making sure that we've got the right size buildings. Right now we have several schools that have mobile classrooms, that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's certainly been a part that's come up frequently in our evaluations. Things like, you know, just the social emotional well-being of our students and how facilities can benefit that. The flexibility of educational environments. You know, it's changed from the traditional classroom that a lot of us grew up with, and now there's more collaboration between students, and, you know, creating facilities that allow for that collaboration were some of the highlights. There was also some talk on how our athletic facilities compare to others in the area as well. So it was pretty interesting to see how similar all of those groups were in their priorities.
Okay. Last thing, if there are individuals out there watching this and they say, hey, I wanted to share my perspective, how can they, because is there still an opportunity for people to give feedback around this process?
Absolutely. And, you know, there's several ways that we can do that. I would definitely encourage anybody that's got an interest in, you know, still being part of the community vision team, or even if they've just got questions and want to know more information, to reach out to myself or to Rachel, either one, and, you know, we could provide them either the information or the best place to go to get that information. We could also make sure that they were included in that community vision team as well, and have an opportunity for their voice to be heard.
Thank you. Rachel, any last word before we wrap up?
No, I think last year we did have the privilege of creating a board facilities committee. So even past this process that we're going through now, that's a way to stay engaged, to get connected and hear overall the needs and facilities of our district. But yeah, I would just add that we do have a standing facilities committee that I would encourage people to join as well.
Okay. Well, thank you both for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts and giving that valuable information to the community. You can visit our website to get updates on the facility planning process as we move along with discussions and planning throughout the year. Principal Brett Bernard from Emerson Elementary School launched the theme for this school year. See how he is encouraging his students and staff to practice being better every day.
Good morning, guys. Come on in. Happy Wednesday.
Typical day first always starts with saying good morning to my students and hi to my families that are dropping students off.
Good morning, Daniela. Good morning, Brooklyn.
I always like to say good morning and say their names in person so they know that I know who they are. That's first priority, to make sure their days are off to a good start. Then it's a typical visit in my classroom, just quick walk-ins to say hi to my teachers, make sure everyone's doing okay, see what kids are here and might be absent. After that, I'll go around and meet with my instructional coach and visit with her about kind of our priorities for the day and things we might be on the lookout for. And then after that, it's into classrooms. It's just going to visit every classroom to make sure instruction's going well and any supports teachers may need. And that's what I would love to spend my whole day doing. And then as things come up, we'll pop out and support others that needs to be supported, but try to spend most of my day in classrooms. Better every day to me means thinking about the little things that we can tweak and do just to make ourselves better. It's about reflection to me. This year we have 3 priorities. It's instruction, family engagement, and attendance. And so looking at how we can strengthen those systems and strategies to support our kids so we're not spending our time intervening, we're spending our time deepening kids' knowledge. And so that's our focus this year, is make sure we hit those priorities. Emerson has a great school culture of collaboration. So as much pushing as I might have to do, our teachers push each other. They share with each other the strategies they're doing to improve relationships with students and families. They share instructional strategies that are taking place. They share data with each other. So they're always constantly challenging each other and sharing information. So one can help the other improve and help our whole system improve. At Emerson Elementary, we're getting better every day.
We kicked off this school year with the district-wide theme challenging teachers, bus drivers, and all staff to basically be better each day. Each day is an opportunity to be better than you were the day before. I want to thank Mr. Bernard, his staff, our students, and families for accepting and taking on this challenge and being an example of what raising the bar of academic excellence looks like on our school campuses. We launched the opening of our new Welcome Center this school year. Joining me to provide an update on how things are going is Dr. Octavio Estrella, the Director of the Welcome Center and Engagement. Dr. Estrella, as we all know, a nice warm welcome and that first impression sends a message to parents about how much we care about their students. The Welcome Center has been open since May. Can you tell me how things are going and what has been on the top items you and your team are working on to address issues or the enrollment process with parents and families?
Yeah, so things have been going great. As you mentioned, the Welcome Center opened in May, right as the school year was closing, and that was perfect because what we wanted to do was to signal to our families and to our community that the Welcome Center was open for business, especially as we entered the start of school registration, as summer is a really busy time as families are figuring out their plans for school and registering their children for school. And so it was a perfect time for us to open the Welcome Center. In the summer, we did 5 registration fairs, and they were really impactful. We helped many students, hundreds of students enroll in school, but also provide hundreds of families access to their parent portal on Infinite Campus, which is a really important tool for advocating for their children and to staying up to date on the progress of the children, on their attendance and grades. We help families recover their passwords and usernames in addition to helping them register their students for school.
Okay. So what are the hours of the Welcome Center if someone needed to come by there during the school year?
So we're open from Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of services does the Welcome Center provide to our students and families?
So first and foremost, the thing we do more frequently is to provide sort of that face-to-face, personalized assistance with registering their children for school. Mm-hmm. For some of our families, registering your children for school can become a stressor, and it's really important to have somebody who can, if you need language support, they can speak in your home language, but they can also help you navigate all the requirements of registration, including things like your address verification, and if you don't have things like bills or leasing your name, that there are other alternatives that we can provide. So really working one-on-one with families. And then the other thing too is that many of our families, especially new families, don't need help navigating and connecting to resources in the district and outside the district. And so one of the things that we do a lot is kind of do that warm handoff to our schools, make sure that families are connected to somebody at the school that can help welcome them to the school.
Okay, so I know you're planning to host some resource fairs soon. Can you tell me about what will be the focus of those events, and if you have a timeline when people should be expecting to hear about those events?
Yeah, so one of the we are working on co-hosting a series of events around orienting families to the school district, to our school system, but also making sure that families are aware of the Infinite Campus and have access to the portal. And so those are upcoming in the months of October, but then we're also planning a much larger co-hosting what we're calling like a digital literacy series with families, and we're looking to partner with some of our community organizations around that as well.
So will those events be held at our district office or out in the community?
We would love to be able to host that initially in the Welcome Center, so that families are exposed to the Welcome Center, and then as we build that out, definitely want to make sure that these are accessible to families in the community across different sites in the school district.
Yeah. So what do you hope is the takeaway when parents and students come to the Welcome Center?
So our first hope is that, one, families feel like they're being listened to, that they're being cared for, that we understand their experiences, that their experiences and their voices matter, and that there's a network of people that are at the ready to help support them and to assist them. And so we want to make sure that they feel wrapped around, that there are people that we as a district are wrapping around our families and making them feel like they belong and they're welcome in our district.
Yeah. Any last words before we wrap up?
No, I'm really proud of the work that our district is doing with the Welcome Center. The Welcome Center is really a collaboration of various departments. We wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without the collaboration from other departments, and so we're really proud of the work that is manifested in the Welcome Center.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Providing this great resource to our families and our students in the community. And we look forward for all the great work and the resource fairs that your department and in collaboration with others will be hosting this fall and throughout the school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Continuing our Better Everyday theme this year, we wanted to highlight another example of what getting better every day means. Sometimes it means owning up to our mistakes and committing to making a change. See how one Sumner Academy student dealt with a moment that could have changed his entire high school experience.
Life at Sumner it's tough, but teachers help a lot. It's fun. I like it here. An average day, we go by blocks, so every day is kind of different with classes, practicing skills that we have, preparing for IB. There was an incident with me and one of my friends. We used to have this joke where we flip bags. They take all your stuff out of a bag and flip it like basically inside out. So really inconvenient. He flipped my bag at the end of the hour while I wasn't in the room, and he wasn't giving it back to me, and there was confrontation that happened, and ended up we had to go to the office and explain to Mr. Malone and them. And then he called our parents and out of school suspension, and then had the dismissal hearing.
He got himself into a situation where we were taking a look at his continued enrollment here at Sumner Academy, but he used that as a learning opportunity and really came back to really focus on his education and really make sure that he rebuilds those relationships that he hurt last year.
Sumner is pretty strict on fights, like they basically zero tolerance, but the staff, when they heard our accounts of it, they understood it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't our character.
And it reminded me of that restorative process that we're trying to put in place and how our students really need that chance and that teachable moment to ensure that they can go out and be successful citizens in our global societies. Tommy's a great example of that, taking an incident that could have been a moment in his life that could have perhaps changed his trajectory, learn from that with the support of our staff to ensure that he's continued to excel. And he's a senior this year, and he's going to graduate with the class of 2024.
At Sumner Academy, we are getting better every day.
I want to thank Tommy Medina III for being open and sharing his story with us. We all make mistakes in life, but the best learning experience is learning from those mistakes and making an effort to not repeat it. Now on How Are the Children, we get to hear directly from our students. We get to hear their thoughts and perspectives about the subjects of their choice. And I have 3 wonderful guests joining me today. I'm going to ask each one of them to share their name, school, grade level, and what diploma pathway or program or academy that they are a part of at their high school. So I'll start with you.
My name is Janiyah Greer. I am at Washington High School. I am a senior, and I am a part of our JROTC program, Gear Up, our Learning Club, which is Diploma Plus certified, and what else? And I'm also part of TRIO.
TRIO.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And if you're a part of anything like band, any of those things, you can share that as well. Okay.
My name is Kamora Bettis. I'm at J.C. Herman High School. I'm a senior. The academy I'm a part of is the Business Academy. I'm also a part of NHS. I'm a part of cheer. I'm a part of band, and also your council.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jason Jones. I am a sophomore. I go to Wyandotte High School.
Okay.
I play football. I'm going to do wrestling. I do all types of sports, as you know, and also I do debate.
Debate. Okay. And are you a part of what academy or pathway?
HPS.
HPS. Can you tell everybody what HPS is?
Human Public Services.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you all for joining me and taking time out of your busy schedules just to give your perspectives about your experience. Earlier today, you heard me talking with Mr. Lilly, our Chief Operations Officer, and Ms. Rachel Russell, who's our board member, about our facilities master planning. A part of that project or that evaluation was of each one of our schools, and you all go to 3 different schools. So I would like to hear from your perspective, what are the things that you love about your school, like when you think about the facilities, the classroom, the athletic fields, and what are some things that we could improve on? And Jason, I'm gonna start with you since you were the last in the introductions. Just, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I like a couple things. I like the classrooms, very spacious. Also, I like our football field as well, but there are some things I do dislike, such as the weight room. They are quite old and decrepit, I'm not gonna lie. Same thing for
I appreciate the honesty.
Same thing for the gym as well. Some gyms are very old. We have 2, and both of them are extremely old. The classrooms and the air conditioning it fluctuates to room, and we don't have any control over it.
Okay.
The teachers don't, and that's really about it. Oh, and we don't have books, really. I know we kind of moved on to computers, but it's nice just to read a book every so often.
Okay, okay. So I do want to clarify something. There are books. Let me connect with you and your school, because there should be classroom sets of books for all of the content areas, but we can talk after about that. But I appreciate you sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
Either one of you can jump right in. Yeah.
Something I do like that's new is a new system that we have. It's like the ID system, and it's basically where every time we have to come into the building, we have to show our ID, and they'll scan it, and as soon as they scan our ID, it basically checks the time of when we enter the building. Okay. It's a safety matter, and it's also for parents, for when, like, if they call the school and say, hey, did my kid come to school, they can be able to check the time. Yes, your child came in at such and such time. That's something that I really do like, because a lot of things are going on in the world now, and our safety is the first priority. Something that I kind of don't like is how we don't have enough help with mental health. A lot of times and nowadays, you know, in our generation, we struggle with mental health, mainly with freshmen maybe coming into high school, they don't know what to do, or even just seniors struggling just trying to graduate. And a lot of people are about ready to like end their lives because of it. And we don't have enough assistance for the students that we have. We only have 3 social workers and they do an amazing job. They really do, but we need more than just 3, mainly with all of us in the school. I'll walk in the Restorative Justice Center and it's like kids sitting, waiting to be seen, and yet they're being told to go back to class and they have to deal with their mental health on their own. I feel like that's not fair. So that's something that
Okay. So I appreciate you sharing that, and that's something that we definitely can continue to explore and make sure that we have the additional supports. But you did talk about the Restorative Justice Center, which is a space. Do you like the space? Because that was converted from like something else.
I love the space.
Okay.
I love the space. I know whenever I'm having a bad day or something like that, I can just go in there, take a minute to relax, and then go back to class. That's kind of how it works anyways, is you just go in there, take a moment, breathe, whatever you have to do, and then you just go back to class once you're ready. And I really do love it. It's a very calm area. I know that Miss Adger, she worked really, really hard trying to decorate it, make it a nice space where it smells good, it looks nice, there's couches in there and everything, that it's a very comfortable environment to be in.
And if you haven't been to Harmon to see the restorative justice space that's there for students, it's amazing. You can reach out to Ms. Carter and schedule a visit, but it's a great place to see what that practice looks like actually with students and staff. So okay, share what you love about the school building of Washington and somewhere we can get better. Yeah.
I love the help that they have with seniors. We have a lot of help with our CCC room, which is our Student Success Center room, and that's actually our career college, and I forgot what the last word was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I like how they have that. We also have Gear Up, who helps us a lot. We have a lot of field trips where we're going on college visits. So they're actually really trying to help us as seniors. What I will say is that our weight room, I feel like our stuff is outdated, and I feel like we should like have like a bigger space, especially because we have like a lot of students in our school who actually like to lift weights, and I feel like better like equipment or like more variety of equipment would be better for it. And then the cafeteria, kind of like the tables they're kind of like small, and we like all like need our space, so that's a small thing but not like a major thing, but other than that, I think everything's pretty nice.
Okay. Well, you said the word cafeteria, and this will be my last question. Last year and the year before, I got lots of feedback on the lunch options and the breakfast options, and specifically at all of our schools, but at the high schools, we made some major changes, one being having hot breakfasts and with lunch, which you provided a lot of input as a member of my student superintendent advisory group. You have some influence on the actual menu items. How's that going? Is the food better? We know we can always get better, but I just want to hear in general from you directly, how's the new lunch menu and the breakfast options?
I think it's really good. It's really good. It's not just one item on the plate and then we have to starve for the rest of the day. It's multiple things on the plate. And then also like the salad bar, I really love the salad bar. We have more options like tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, things like that. Even with the hot breakfasts in the morning is good too. I really like the new menu and the new options we have.
Thank you. You had a lot of input in that. Anything you all want to add? Have you noticed it?
I would actually agree with her about everything she said. There's just a lot more people now eating the meals actually.
Yeah,
that is
beforehand in line there would probably be, who knows, a quarter of the school, but now it's more or less 3/4 or half the school now eating.
Okay, that's awesome.
I can actually agree with that. I did notice like from between last year and this year, last year it wasn't a lot of students in like the lunch lines, but this year it actually is a lot of students in lunch lines, and we actually have different options, and then it's actually like different things than last year, which I actually like about that. So yeah, it's helped a lot.
Well, thank you all for joining me. This was a great conversation. As I always, when I'm with the students, I hear about great things we can build off of and where we can get better. So I really appreciate you joining me this afternoon. Before we close out the program, Josiah Evans joins us from Wyandotte High School to share some highlights from around the district.
Hello, I'm Josiah Evans from Wyandotte High School, and here are your district highlights. I want to give a shout out to my fellow Bulldog classmates who got a chance to experience what working in the real world is all about. Members of the All-American program, players on varsity boys, basketball teams, and teams managers work shifts at Kansas City Worlds of Fun. For some students, it was their first time being a part of the workforce. It will also help students with their National Honor Society obligations. Congratulations to the director of Sumner Academy Debate and Francis team, Jamel Brown. Brown was voted into the Kansas City Speech Communication Association Secondary Level Hall of Fame. The honor is for her fantastic work and service in the speech communication field, for being an expert in her craft, and for being recognized by her peers and scholars. The school board recognized Ms. Brown for receiving the National Federation of State High School Association National Speech and Debate Outstanding Educator Citation Award. The citation is one of the high school educators' most highly regarded achievements. If you have time to take a look at some incredible artworks, then come by the District Central Office to view KCKPS students' art on display. Teachers from every school in the district selected artwork from their students to display for everyone to see during the Beyond the Classroom art display. The artwork includes painting, drawings, collages, jewelry, photography, sculptures, and more. The artwork created by students from grades K through 12 will be on display until May 2024. Some of the artwork will go on display in the community. And lastly, the Diploma Plus program at Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools held its 5th annual College Fair Day at the Legends Field. More than 75 colleges, universities, and post-secondary partners were present to help support our students' future planning. Students also get an opportunity to set up interviews, collect literature, and learn more about institutions, core values, and campus life. And that's a look at what's happening in Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools. I'm Josiah Evans. Back to you, Dr. Stubblefield.
Thank you, Josiah. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Super Review. You can watch this program and all of the other content on KCKPS TV Channel 18 on Spectrum. Live stream of the district's website at kckschools.org or on the district's YouTube channel. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us today and helping facilitate the important discussions around these topics. Until next time, take care and be safe.